Hello, welcome back to another AP3 video. In today's video, we'll be going over AP Environmental Science, topic 5.17, Sustainable Forestry, or Forestry. So, forests are an important natural resource that provides ecosystem services to humans such as flood, medicine, fuel, timber, lumber, air purification, flood, and erosion mitigation. Now we're going to talk about sustainable forestry. Now, when a natural resource is used to a greater rate than it can be replenished, the use is unsustainable. So you have sustainable forestry, which refers to a collection of methods attempting to minimize the human impacts of harvesting trees and using forest resources. The methods include selective tree cutting, buying and using timber that's usually sustainable, sourced, and certified, reusing woods, and IPM and selective tree removal, reducing disease, and prescribed burns for forest health. The first thing we're going to talk about is mitigating deforestation. Now, deforestation is unsustainable forest use, and reforestation is the intentional restocking of existing forests and woodlands that have been depleted. Can't help. Buying and using wood from certified providers. So what we can do is buy and use wood from certified providers that use ecological sustainable foresting techniques, such as selective harvesting of trees, prohibiting logging in ecological sensitive or highly biodiverse areas of forest land, and transported of felled trees and via techniques that lessen ecological disruption and soil compaction. And we're using, repurposing, and recycling wood products that we can do as well. What I'd like to go over now is mitigating pathogens. Now, disease can threaten the health of the entire forest ecosystems. IPM techniques can help minimize the threat of infestations in an ecological, sustainable manner. What we can do is a continual monitoring of health of tree stands, thinning of underbrush, knowledge of the common pest species, understanding economic pest threshold, setting pests traps and manual weeding, biological control with natural predators, chemical control with repellents, pesticides, and herbicides, and we use that as a last resort. The selective removal of diseased trees can also help show the spread of infestations in a stand. So again, these are a few ways that we can use for when it comes to IPM techniques that can help minimize the threat of infection or infestations in an ecological sustainable manner. Again, like for example, setting pest traps and manual weeding. So now we're going to talk about the role of fire. Now, when we think of fire, we think about it as a bad thing because obviously we burn fires, and because the trees are a carbon sink and they go through the process of photosynthesis that gives us oxygen, we think that the burning of fire is a bad thing. However, prescribed burns can actually improve forest health and are an important sustainable forestry technique. Now, fire removes excess understory plants as well as dead tree limbs, needles, and branches. This selective removal of understory and dead plant matter can help reduce the severity of natural forest fires by reducing the amount of dry matter available as fuel, and can also help reduce pest infestations. Last thing we're going to talk about today is the sustainable forestry as an environmental solution. There's a lot of advantages. So the mitigation of deforestation leads to preserved biodiversity, preserves critical ecosystem service that forests provide, economically support organizations and timber companies that employ sustainable methods, and reusing wood reduces the need to cut new timber. And the use of IPM and selective tree removal for pest management, and the benefits or advantages include ensures forestry worker are closely monitoring tree stands, reduces impact of pesticide and herbicide use on non-target species, soil, and water, reduces likelihood of trophic structure disruption from pests, it reduces likelihood of trophic structure disruption from pest erosion, and more closely minimizes or closely mimics natural balance of ecosystems. And then we have prescribed burns, and advantages are the lessen of the severity of natural occurring fires by removing underbrushes and debris, encourage new growth of native species, and help manage pest species. This is everything that we need to know about 5.17. This is another AP3 video. Thank you for watching.